Oh,
No, we can't. What?
Yes,
Who's speaking? Oh, we
way
got
too
to
loud.
go.
This is going to be a tough one, folks.
Oh, it's going to be a beauty.
Here we go, guys. We're coming up in about 5 seconds here. 5 seconds to opener.
It is 8:40. Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw. Mike Richards along with David Bastl. Today, we have already spoken with Jared Book from Eyes on the Prize, the Montreal Canadiens' #1 podcast. Jared Book does a great job, of course, obviously representing the Montreal Canadiens. They're actually pretty close to the organization. They're very well respected, but very understated, very subtle, Jared Book.
Yeah.
So we go from that to what we see on the screen now, which is a picture of the CN Tower based in Toronto in Montreal Canadian colors. I see a man boldly wearing a Montreal Canadien jersey. So this is a different way of going about the Montreal Canadiens. A little louder, a little bolder. Ladies and gentlemen, Geoff Stewart, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Yeah.
How's the big smoke this morning?
Yeah, quiet. Very quiet. Talking about the Blue Jays, talking about their lawns, talking about the weather, anything but hockey.
Well, I tell you, even out here in Alberta, the birds are chirping, the sun is shining, and it's game day.
It is a game day. Now, it's funny talking with Jared Book, just saying that regardless of what happens in game one, because I think it could be relatively goofy. Like there's a lot of things going on for the Canadiens that honestly no one in this country has experienced in like 14 months. So going across the border, going into a building where there's going to be fans, the rest versus rust kind of argument. Like this could be a game that goes sideways, but in a real sense, I don't know if it means anything for the series as a whole. It could be a disastrous game, but that won't necessarily be, I don't think, the measurement of what the series is going to look like.
No, and I agree, Mike, but I think there's going to be the anticipation of the excitement. You know, you've got Weber, first time in the semifinals. But you've got a guy who's focused in that back net right now that, I think if anything, the rest has done him good. And, he's we like to call him Seabiscuit at the house here, but, but I think, you're looking at, it's going to be a new challenge for the Canadiens. And from when we started to talk against the Leafs and again against Winnipeg, I remember Dave and I looking at each other saying, Dave, I think, called Winnipeg in 5, but, it's going to go, in my mind, 6 for the Habs. But nobody expected them to play the way they've been playing. And, I mean, they're playing so structured right now that it's incredible. I don't know what team this is, to be honest with you. I mean, they're supporting the puck offensively, defensively. They're getting a boost from veteran players is a great story with seeing what Corey Perry is doing, Stahl is doing, and then you've got the youth. The youth is adding some excitement, and then just their individual play of the Denos that we've talked about throughout each series, and guys like Toffoli stepping up at the right time. That it feels like a lot like '93. Now, I play the song for you right now, but we don't have that much time.
No, play it. No, the only thing I'll say is I look forward to seeing what the Canadiens have to offer in that first period, because you want to learn a lesson from what the Jets did in that first period after a very similar type layoff. And you may have a little bit of rust on the team, but Carey Price better not have an inch of rust.
Yeah.
Or you could be in trouble early, and you don't want that in a building with fans. Totally different environment than what they're used to seeing this year. And of course, yes, players have played in front of fans before. That's the funniest thing I hear is, there's going to be fans. It's like, well, Eric Stahl's been in the league for 1,000 years, and he's heard a couple things throughout his career. So this isn't really going to affect him this much. But Carey Price cannot have rust in the first period. Maybe the team might, but he cannot.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I mean, that's going to set the pace of that game. And, You know what the concerning thing is too, is you don't want to get fall behind, because you look at what happened to Winnipeg and they just never seem, they may have had a couple of good periods, but I was shocked that, and sure, you can lay blame on the Scheifele's and things that happen that way, but that's hockey, that's sports, right? And these things happen in sports. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have teams that get a little bit of puck luck. You get how many posts in a game. That's why we watch the game, is because we don't know what's going to happen. And right now, that's the excitement that the Habs fans are getting, is because we're going, who is this team? But boy, is it a lot of fun. I mean, it's been a 7 games that, I go into it, never with any confidence, but with excitement to watch this and enjoy some hockey. And like we said before, it's been so great, kind of as we hope to see us coming out of a pandemic and everything that's been going on, and we're having some fun watching some sports again. At least some of us are.
Yeah, there is still some sadness that I know you're very upset about here in Toronto. The one thing I would say for the Montreal Canadiens, if they watch that New York Islanders game, it's like, let's be that. And because they kind of have been that, right? I mean, that's the way they got to win. They have to win by committee. They have to win by team play. But it also is a reflection, Geoff, of just how good the NHL is in terms of its parity. Like the teams that are really, really good. Let's face it, Colorado, really, really good team. Tampa Bay, a good team. The Boston Bruins, a very good team. If you don't have your best effort that night, that day, the other team can win. It's not like watching the NFL or the NBA, where some games you just know they're just not going to be competitive. It just won't be. Every night in the NHL, you got to give her, because if you don't, you'll lose.
Absolutely. And that's, I mean, they say it, you hear so many GMs say, all we have to do is get in and anything can happen, right? I mean, we could have a team that Ottawa looked so good at the end of the year, right? They could be in here doing some damage right now. Anybody, but it's, I think that's, why I love the game so much is because anybody could win. I mean, probably one of the hardest sports to bet on, right?
I think it is. I think it's very hard to bet on this sport because, in trying to find advantage, although I have laid a tremendous amount of money on the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Just it's incredible, even with financial difficulties in this household, having to pay workers or those that have helped them, and yet there will be no money for them because it will all be spent tonight on the goal. So you better hope that the Golden Knights win.
Yeah, that was probably the worst move we could do all week, Mike. Just pick up the phone, give me a call. I'll help you out with these. I think there's got to be a message. I think Montreal is going to come out tonight and say, you know what? Forget what the media is saying. Forget what everybody's saying. We're doing a job here. We're on a mission here. We've got size and grit on the back end, and it's going to be hard, whether you like it or not, to drive the net like Vegas likes to. They like to play off the rush as well, like Montreal. It could be an exciting series. But it's not going past 6 games, and the Habs will be going to the Stanley Cup final.
Oh, my goodness.
No, Habs in 6.
That is really something. With that,
I'm shocked.
The picture of that
CN
Tower with the Montreal Canadiens colors, the whole thing is just, it's becoming like a psychedelic, like an LSD trip here all of a sudden on the show. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure your business partner is very excited about all of this.
Yes.
It's been quiet around the office, and I think his first comment today will be, "Oh, it's game day."
But see, even now, what? No,
forget this, eh?
Now, out of curiosity, because you actually are in Alberta, with Daryl coming in and taking over, and people have an expectation when Daryl does that because he tends to get results. He didn't get the results he wanted to, but that's not saying that he won't. What is the talk in Calgary necessarily in the off season? What do they think is going to happen? Do they see a big name leaving? What is the conversation?
There is a lot of talk. You know what? It is. There's so much speculation going on right now because of the disappointment they had. They're doing the little things right now. I think it was a great move bringing a veteran guy like Kirk Muller in. Love Kirk.
That's right too.
And I thought that adds. To me, that's, you've got Daryl on for a couple of years. That gives Kirk, potentially as an associate coach, take a look at the team and maybe mold it in. But I can see, Goudreau said the right thing saying that he wants to stay, but I don't see them moving forward with him. I think they've got to, this is the last year on his contract. There's probably going to be some movement to try to get something back. The rumors around here are, could New Jersey pick him up, or a Philadelphia, somebody with some youth. The other day, randomly I heard Nolan Patrick from Philadelphia could be a good youth to give him a fresh start. I think they're going to have to look at, making some changes myself. For some reason, they just can't seem to get past. They had a decent series a few years ago, but after that, it's been a little bit of doom and gloom.
Yeah, it certainly has. Back to this series. So you have the Canadians in 6. Any players that you're looking at matchup wise? Because obviously Max Pacioretty was a longtime Montreal Canadian and gave your team many seasons of consistent play. So you'll face him in a head-to-head series, and everybody remembers, or should remember, that swap, because coming the other way was a young Nick Suzuki that is probably your first line center for the next decade.
Yeah.
It's almost a trade that's really worked out well for the Habs, hasn't it?
It really has. And, even in short term there, Thomas Tatar has done a great job. Now he's out of the lineup. He's one of the guys that now is depth to the team. Will we see him? Probably, if there's another injury. I think that's been the key, Dave, is that even the players that aren't considered the big talent like the Evans, you've had guys like Lehkonen come in and step up and score 2 big goals against Winnipeg. So I think some of the matchups, it's going to be what they do with Pacioretty and Stone. I think if they split them up, then you're going to see Danault doing a lot of juggling.
Yeah.
And they'll match Suzuki. That line will probably play against one of them as well. So I think it's going to be intriguing. The key for Montreal is that they roll the 4 lines. And if Perry and Stahl and Armia are still going the way they are, that's difficult. Because if you watch them against Winnipeg, their offensive zone time was incredible. And the pressure that they had, they look slow. At times I'll go, ooh. But boy, the puck control that they have in that offensive zone is incredible. I'm actually shocked with it, to be honest. So but you've got Carlson and guys who are playing, right? Like Vegas is rolling. I'm not going to take that away from them. They're excited. They've got a goalie with 3 cups, right? Marc-Andre Fleury has got more respect from everybody in the league. But it's Price's time.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm really hoping for is for Vegas to not pull, that little show they put on before the game started. Remember how bad that one was, the Jets? It was like
It's
a weird,
terrible. Yes.
It was like,
makes you hate them even more.
Yeah. I hope, are they going to do like some sort of sword fight thing? I don't know. I really hope they back off on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, what are they going to do? Like, what are they honestly like take pea soup and throw it on the ice? Like, I don't know what the big thing would be with Montreal. I don't know. Why is this phone ringing?
Pea soup on the ice. No, I agree, Mike. That some of their shows are just too much.
Yeah, I've seen some that look okay, but look, I know there's fans. They'll be playing in something. It's Las Vegas. Vegas isn't doing nothing. So We'll see. Now, I just hope, as I said, I think tonight is the one game that could be a little bit off, and I sometimes in game ones they don't reflect how I think the series will go. Unlike, quite frankly, what I saw, like I think the Islanders and the Tampa Bay, I think you do have games that look like that. I think that does actually look like, but I don't think tonight will. One way or the other. I think tonight's a one-off.
So you're probably saying a 4-1 win for the Habs, and
that's kind of what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, is that
4-1 win for the Habs? It's very. Let me just write that down. Oh, I don't have a pencil.
Oh,
yeah.
Who
has a pencil? Who has a pencil?
Yeah.
What decade is this? Stuball, thanks so much for this morning. Great job as always. We wish you well in some ways, in other ways.
I'm cheering for the Habs. I am.
Yeah.
I don't like your team. I don't like your team, but I hate Vegas even more. Okay? I'm just telling you. If they could both lose 2-0, I would be excited as only hell.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Yeah. You never
Let's
know.
go Habs.
There you go. Some positive feedback for you.
Hey guys, I appreciate it. This is a lot of fun, and it'll give us some more banter around the office this morning. And I hope you guys have a great week. And I'm sure you'll get the odd text and things as we get rolling.
We'll have you on next week to preview the Stanley Cup final.
I can't wait.
There you go.
I can't wait.
Hey, buddy. Thanks a lot. Great to see you, as always.
Thanks, guys.
That is
Thanks, pal.
Geoff Stewart from the Restoration Network Studio, the TRN Studio. Also a realty company. If you need things done with your home, apparently.
They do everything.
Need to sell your home or rent it, apparently TRN, they're the people to call. They're the good hands people.